The flickering fluorescent lights hummed, casting a sickly yellow glow across the empty classroom. The room, once filled with the vibrant energy of young minds eager to learn, now stood silent and eerie. The hum of the lights was the only sound, a monotonous drone that seemed to echo the emptiness and desolation that had settled over the place. Papers lay scattered on desks, remnants of a normal school day. These papers, filled with doodles, notes, and unfinished assignments, were now ghostly reminders of the innocence that had once thrived here. Each sheet told a story of a student, a child who had come to this place seeking knowledge and guidance, but something was deeply wrong. A darkness had seeped into this place of learning, a darkness that whispered of betrayal. The shadows cast by the blinds seemed to dance with a life of their own, as if mocking the very essence of what a classroom should be, a safe haven for growth and discovery. This wasn't about failing grades or schoolyard fights. This was about a violation of trust, a transgression of the student-teacher bond. The rotting apple on the teacher's desk was a stark symbol of the decay that had set in, a visual representation of the corruption that had tainted this sacred space. This was about Jennifer Massey. Massey, an art teacher, was supposed to be a guide, a mentor. She was supposed to inspire creativity and nurture the talents of her students. Her classroom was meant to be a sanctuary where young minds could explore and express themselves freely. Instead, she became a predator. Accused of sexual misconduct with a student, she now found herself at the center of a scandal that rocked the community. The trust that had been placed in her was shattered, leaving behind a trail of broken dreams and scarred lives. The image of Massey in handcuffs, her face a mask of distress, was a jarring contrast to the nurturing figure she was supposed to be. Her actions had not only betrayed her students, but had also betrayed the very principles of education and mentorship. Her case, echoing other high-profile cases, served as a stark reminder of the vulnerability of young minds and the devastating consequences of abuse. The headlines screamed of her betrayal, and the news anchors spoke in hushed, somber tones, reflecting the gravity of the situation. The news spread quickly, a wildfire through the community. Conversations in coffee shops, whispers in grocery store aisles, and heated discussions at dinner tables all revolved around the scandal. The community was in shock, grappling with the reality that such a betrayal could happen in their midst. Parents clutched their children closer, fear etched on their faces. The trust they had placed in the school system was now in question, and the safety of their children was their paramount concern. The sense of security that had once been taken for granted was now shattered. Students whispered in hallways, their innocence shattered. The hallways, once filled with laughter and chatter, were now filled with hushed conversations and furtive glances. The sense of camaraderie and safety had been replaced by suspicion and fear. Massey's actions had cast a long shadow, a pall over the sanctity of the classroom. The very essence of what a classroom should be, a place of learning, growth, and safety, was now tainted by her actions. The shadows seemed to grow longer, as if the darkness was spreading, consuming the light. This was not a story you'd see on the 6 o'clock news. It was too raw, too painful, too close to home. It was a story that unfolded in the whispers of the community, in the silent tears of the betrayed, and in the shattered trust of the innocent. This was a grim tale that unfolded in the shadows, a stark reminder that monsters often hide in plain sight. The corridors, once bustling with life, now stood empty and silent, haunted by the memories of what had been lost. The shadowy figure in the hallway was a chilling reminder that the true horror often lies not in the darkness, but in the betrayal of trust. The relationship between a teacher and student is built on trust. This trust is the cornerstone of the educational experience, fostering an environment where students feel safe, valued, and encouraged to learn. It is a bond that is nurtured over time, through countless interactions, lessons, and moments of guidance. Parents entrust educators with their most precious possessions, their children. Every morning as parents wave goodbye at the school gate, they do so with the belief that their children are in safe hands, that the educators will protect, guide, and inspire them. These educators are tasked with not only shaping young minds, but also with nurturing their emotional well-being. They play a pivotal role in the development of their students, offering support and understanding during difficult times, and celebrating their successes. It's a responsibility not to be taken lightly. The influence of a teacher extends far beyond the classroom, impacting the future choices and paths of their students. A teacher's role is multifaceted, requiring a balance of authority, empathy, and dedication. Jennifer Massey, however, allegedly threw that trust back in the faces of those who believed in her. Her actions, if proven true, represent a stark deviation from the ethical standards expected of educators. She allegedly saw an opportunity, a chance to exploit the vulnerability of a student under her care. This alleged exploitation is not just a breach of trust, but a profound violation of the moral and legal boundaries that protect students. Her alleged actions were a betrayal of the highest order, a violation of the very foundation of the education system. Such betrayals shake the core of the trust that parents, students, and society place in educators. The charges against Massey were serious sexual misconduct with a minor. These allegations, if proven, carry severe legal consequences and highlight the critical need for vigilance and accountability within educational institutions. This wasn't about a harmless flirtation or a lapse in judgment. It was about a deliberate and calculated abuse of power, an act that could have lasting and devastating consequences for the victim involved. This was about an abuse of power, a calculated act that could have lasting consequences for the victim. The emotional and psychological impact on the student could be profound, affecting their trust in authority figures and their overall well-being. The legal system was prepared to come down hard, as they often do in such cases, seeking to hold Massey accountable for her alleged crimes and send a message that such behavior would never be tolerated. The pursuit of justice in this case is not just about punishment, but also about reaffirming the sanctity of the trust placed in educators and ensuring the safety and well-being of all students. The halls of the school, once abuzz with youthful energy, were now filled with a disquieting silence. The usual chatter and laughter had been replaced by hushed whispers and anxious glances. The news of Massey's arrest had spread like a virus, infecting every corner of the school. Students huddled together, sharing what little they knew, their faces pale and drawn. Some expressed disbelief, struggling to reconcile the accusations with the teacher they thought they knew. Others, however, spoke of unsettling encounters, of inappropriate comments and lingering touches that now seemed sinister in hindsight. Rumors swirled, fueled by fear and uncertainty. The administration, in an attempt to control the narrative, released a carefully worded statement expressing their shock and promising full cooperation with the authorities. But the damage was done. The sense of safety, of trust, had been irrevocably shattered. Section 4. The Digital Dragnet. In this modern age, crimes often leave a digital footprint. Text messages, social media posts, emails. They all paint a picture, a narrative of interactions. Every click, every message, every post, they all contribute to a digital trail that can be traced back to its origin. And in the case of Jennifer Massey, the digital world became a hunting ground for the truth. Her online activities were scrutinized, her digital presence dissected. Investigators, armed with warrants, descended upon Massey's online life. They were determined to uncover every hidden corner, every secret interaction. They combed through her social media profiles, meticulously analyzing her posts, comments, and connections, looking for inappropriate contact with students. Each message was a potential clue, each interaction a possible lead. They subpoenaed her phone records, gaining access to her call logs and text messages. Tracing calls and text messages, every call she made, every text she sent was scrutinized for evidence. They sought access to her computer, hoping to uncover deleted files and hidden folders. The digital forensics team worked tirelessly, recovering data that had been thought lost, hoping to uncover deleted files and hidden folders. Each recovered file was a piece of the puzzle, each hidden folder a potential goldmine of information. Each click, each swipe, each digital interaction was analyzed with precision. Each online interaction became a potential piece of the puzzle. The digital world, once a place of anonymity, was now a landscape of evidence. The digital world, once a haven for anonymity, had become a double-edged sword, capable of revealing secrets as easily as it allowed people to create them. The very tools that people use to connect and communicate were now being used to uncover the truth, capable of exposing secrets as easily as it allowed people to create them. The digital footprints left behind were now the key to solving the mystery. And in this case, the secrets it held were dark indeed. The digital evidence uncovered painted a grim picture, revealing the hidden truths of Jennifer Massey's online life. Section 5. Buried Truths Unearthed. The investigation into Jennifer Massey's alleged crimes was not just about gathering evidence, it was about unearthing buried truths. It was about giving a voice to the voiceless, about empowering those who had been silenced by fear or shame. Investigators, understanding the sensitive nature of the case, worked tirelessly to build trust with potential victims. They conducted interviews with empathy and compassion, creating a safe space for students to share their stories. They assured them that they were not alone, that their voices mattered, and that justice would be served. Slowly, painfully, the truth began to emerge. Whispers turned into accusations. Hearsay solidified into concrete evidence. The full extent of Massey's alleged abuse started to come into focus, revealing a pattern of manipulation and betrayal that shocked even the most hardened investigators. Section 6. Scars of Betrayal. The scars of sexual abuse run deep, leaving invisible wounds that can last a lifetime. Victims often struggle with feelings of guilt, shame, and worthlessness. They may experience anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Their ability to trust, to form healthy relationships, can be forever compromised. In the case of Jennifer Massey's alleged victims, the road to healing would be long and arduous. They would need counseling, support, and understanding to navigate the complex emotions and trauma they had endured. The impact of Massey's alleged actions extended far beyond the immediate victims. Parents grappled with feelings of anger, guilt, and a sense of helplessness. The school community reeled, struggling to come to terms with the betrayal that had occurred within their midst. The very foundation of trust, so essential for learning and growth, had been shaken to its core.